our top story this hour. Investors are probably doing jigs on Wall Street right now. Surprising growth figures and a seasonal bump accredited with pushing the Dow Jones over 18,000 for the first time today. The index is still holding steady. It's at 18,045. Richard Quest of Quest Means Business joins me now from New York, where the watchword is optimism. Richard, is this the Santa rally investors were hoping for?
Well, the reason behind it is there were some good consumer numbers and there was that excellent GDP number, which came in showing that the US economy grew in the third quarter at 5% on an annualized basis. Now, if you took that, you also then add on the 4.6% that we saw earlier in the year, and you look back over the last 18 months to 2 years, you're now seeing the US economy motoring very nicely, if you like. It's growing. There is good growth, unemployment's come down. This is not to say everything is rosy in the garden. There are, of course, some serious problems of income inequality. There are other issues of race, for example, which could also take its toll. But if you're just talking pure, simple economics, the US economy at the moment, Lynda, is in fine fettle.
Now, confidence in the job market had hit its highest point since the recession. Is that one of the main reasons behind this huge gain?
The Federal Reserve is going to look at two things when it decides when to raise US interest rates. Under its mandate, it looks at, firstly, inflation, and then also job growth or job creation, unemployment. Now, if you take inflation, that is just about nowhere to be seen at the moment, and it's certainly not going to raise its head with oil prices falling as dramatically as they have, down some 50-odd%. Job growth, unemployment has come down to the low 5%, so that's okay. What the Fed told us last week was that they will be patient. That was their word, patient, in terms of when they raise US interest rates. Most of it expect it will be mid to late next year. So for the time being, the Fed Santa Claus Yellen-induced rally continues.
And Richard, if you can look into your crystal ball, where do you think the economy will be a few months down the track into the new year?
Oh, I think there's no question the US economy continues, maybe not at this 5% rate annualized, but the points to watch, the worry warts, if you like, Europe, certainly with Greece and the failure of the presidential election in the parliament. That's a worry. Secondly, just the structural reform, the QE that Europe is going to do probably in the first quarter of 15. Then you've got Asia, you've got Latin America, you've got the new government in Brazil or the returning government in Brazil. In this scenario, emerging markets get clobbered by lower oil prices, those that produce. But Lynda, this is the core point. The global economy has just had a massive boost with cheap oil. And oil, as the Saudis told us overnight, is not going to go up anytime soon.
That is true. Now looking at the actual stocks today, I understand tech stocks are doing pretty well.
Yes, the market overall, tech stocks certainly have boosted the market. We are in that time, that point. You've got to remember one particular area of tech stocks, cybersecurity, is just absolutely roared ahead on the back of the Sony debacle. Now, every company and their brother is looking at their cybersecurity and working out what more they need to do. The thing I'm going to be looking for, we've got another half hour or so of another 3.5 hours of trading. Keep an eye on that number, see if it holds. It's 43 above 18,000. You might get a little bit of selling towards the end as people decide to take money off the table before the holiday.
We'll keep a close eye on it. Richard Quest in New York, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Now to some breaking news. Sony is preparing today to announce a release plan for The Interview. That involves special screenings to a limited number of theatres. 2 theatres in Atlanta, Georgia and Austin, Texas said on Twitter that they had agreed to show the film. Sony may also release the movie on video on demand. Sony has yet to officially announce that plan. Government budget cuts are sparking protests in Belgium. 2 activists expressed their emotions in a rather unique and messy way. They ambushed the Prime Minister on Monday with French fries and mayonnaise. Mr. Michel was addressing a group of businessmen when it happened. He took the snack attack in his stride and changed his clothes. When he returned, he apologised for smelling like mayonnaise.